Thank you. Well, hello, everybody. Like Bernard said, my name is Etienne Leclerc-Jolette, so very, very glad to be here and talk to you a bit about an industrial sector that has a lot of potential, I think, for digital or AI technologies, which is the aerospace one. Of course, for those of you who don't know that, but Montreal is a worldwide leader in aerospace. So depending on the metrics that we are looking at, it's been certainly in the top 5 and even in the top 3 in terms of really the diversification of the players. So I'll present to you a little bit an overview of what we do at CRIAQ and also highlight some of the new projects that we have going on related more to digital technologies and AI. So about CRIAQ itself, it was created in 2002, and it stands for the Consortium for Research and Innovation in Aerospace in Quebec. So we're a provincial organization, and our mission, put simply, is to stimulate business innovation in the aerospace companies. And how we do that is through the funding and putting together some research projects that are all bridging the companies and the industrial needs with the universities, our research centers' capabilities. So we are a network itself with industrial and academic members, now more than 100, which cover the large scale of the aerospace industry. So in terms of the companies that we work with on a day-to-day basis, we have some larger groups from which you may know, such as Bombardier, Bell, CAE, and Pratt & Whitney Canada, but also some medium companies or global companies that have a footprint in the Quebec province, and a whole pool of SMEs, highly innovative, some manufacturers. There's all sorts of supplier links also in that ecosystem, but they work within CRIAQ on collaborative projects to improve their products. We also have a reach out to the other provinces in Canada through a similar network called CRIAQ, which is a consortium for the whole Canadian aerospace economy. And so we work closely with them, and actually the mechanism is that the staff that work for CRIAQ also work for CRIAQ for the most part. So we also have a link from coast to coast in Canada. In terms of the universities and research centers, well, all the major universities that has at least an aerospace department or a mechanical engineering department are members and are in our projects. And we also involve a lot of niche research centers that are experts in specific fields, such as robotics or vision. We have a national optics research center in our project, so different and abroad in terms of expertise. It was mentioned a bit earlier, but we use at CRIAQ and in the aerospace world in general the technology readiness level scale and continuum. So from really an idea or fundamental research concept through the market, there's a whole array of steps to go through. So in terms of our core impact at CRIAQ, it's applied research. So at least there is some kind of industrial requirements in our project, so it's not really fundamental research. And it goes through a level of proof of concepts or prototype in a relevant environment. So for material, about 2 to 6. Afterwards, there are different type of tools that can help the companies, but this is really where we have our focus. The research projects themselves that we support, it's very diverse. We have a bottom-up approach where the companies will come to us with a project idea and share with us. So it's basically a problem that they have or an issue. So they share with us and with the whole ecosystem during some specific events of project emergence their problems, and it's very large. So traditionally at CRIAQ, most of the ideas were about manufacturing side of things or on materials, be it composites or metallic structures, manufacturing cost of operations, and things like that. But we see as the industry evolves, our model also has to adapt, and we see more and more of projects in terms of digital technologies, airfield security, airborne security. You have a few examples here on the slides on passenger comfort. This is something also that we work with Germany that I'll get to in a moment, but in the aircraft interior domain. And so it's a bottom-up approach, and we follow the teams in the development of their project from the idea itself. We also developed over the years, so since 2002, a knowledge of how the funding ecosystem works. So we have here in Canada some programs that are more for provincial companies, but also at the federal level. So we help the team in structuring their projects and finding the right programs for their needs. So we like to position us up a bit as a broker for aerospace projects. And we work that so collaboratively with the other funding partners. In terms of the project process, it's usually, we use these 6 steps internally at CRIAQ, so from the idea through the project launch itself. So first thing, well, it is a project idea. Usually we do that through our events that are called our research forums. The last one was in April. And so the people come in front, they are industrial members, and present a project idea very briefly with 2 slides. It's basically a pitch, so it's kind of a dragon's den, but for new project ideas. It's a very interesting model that I invite you to participate in the future. Following that project idea pitch, there are some partners that are interested, so they can signify their interest to the leader, and we will put together a start of a project team. So all of our projects involves 2 companies at a minimum and 2 universities or research centers. So it's very a collaborative aspect. That's really at the core of the whole CRIAQ model. And once we have a good team and all the expertises are found, we will start together with the team to see what proposal they can put forward, aiming to different research funding programs. And then the project is evaluated, and if it's successful, it can start through a project agreement and a formal project start. So in our whole portfolio right now, we have about 40 active projects, ranging between a value of 500,000 to 3-5 million a range, and they went through that whole process to get kickoff. In terms of the digital aerospace and some things that we noticed recently. So our last forum was in April, our last big event to present new project ideas, and we had 70 of those that were presented. So this was kind of a new record for us even. So it's a productive model, I would say. And from those ideas, we did a little analysis internally to see, do we have more manufacturing side, traditional things? We still have a lot of them that are in our pipeline of projects, but we saw that more than 40% had a very strong link to AI or to digital technology expertise. So like it was said a bit before, we feel that the demand is very high, and it's a problem a little bit, or a challenge for us internally then to solicit the right researchers. The project has to be very appealing to them if we want to have the top researchers also in our project. So we are faced with that now, and we work with Ivado on some projects, and we need to have a lot of those highly qualified personnel in those fields to be able to fill all the needs of the aerospace sector. One project that we have also that was mentioned is the DEAL project. So this program itself, because it's an international collaboration, it has an old part also in France, but it's a large program of about $30 million, including some major players here in Canada and in France. And the goal and the overall vision, I would say, of the project is how to get a certified system or algorithm in the aerospace sector. So the requirements from the authorities to fly something in general are very high. The certification process is very costly for the companies, and we are not there yet where we can say that an algorithm will fly a plane or something similar. So this project is really at the basis of some research that has to be done in different themes that are pretty much linked to each other. So the first one is the robustness of those algorithms. Be it in terms of potential attacks or threats, but also for outlier data that can corrupt or bring a bad decision at some point. So there's some research to be done clearly in this field. Linking to the second one of certifiability itself. So there is a lot of standards that are asked by the authorities, by Canadian authorities, but also European and the FAA. So they're trying to see what type of approach they can use for an eventual certification of those systems. The third one is on the explainability. this was mentioned also, so it's clearly a big concern in the aerospace sector, mitigate the famous black box effect that we have with AI. So there are some methods to be developed in this field. And the last one is about privacy by design, which will deal a lot with the data to be transferred between the aircraft manufacturers, but also the operators themselves, who are different companies, or the airport even operations. So a lot of concerns and a very interesting project to follow in the next years. Another initiative that we have at CRIAQ is that we realized, we have a very strong aerospace ecosystem in Montreal. We also have a very strong and emerging AI ecosystem and numerical technologies ecosystem. So we have the vision to put forward a digital aerospace ecosystem. So working with similar organizations as CRIAQ, but in the IT field, and also with the industrial associations that we have in Montreal. We want to put forward some joint events and foster more joint projects between the two sectors. So this is quite new in our strategic directions, but it's something that's really been picking up in the last year and that we see a lot of potential in. Lastly, but not the least, we have a very fruitful collaboration with Germany. Reason for my presence here today. Focused on two main hubs in Germany, the Hamburg region, where they are very strong in aircraft interior and strong presence worldwide, but also with Bavaria and the Ludwig-Bolkau campus, with who we want to put forward some international projects. So we have two projects actually running, mostly on aircraft interior for this first round of projects. You see a bit the titles here on the slide. The first one is, I think, can appeal to most of the people here in the room. It's about noise reduction in an aircraft interior. So they are looking at new insulation material to reduce the noise impact for low frequency sounds. And the second one is more on the material science of things, where they are working on new composites for different aircraft interior applications, but such as a aircraft catering trolley. So it's very diverse. The overall collaboration that we have right now with the ZAL Tech Center is very positive. There's a lot of similarity between our model here of research projects and what is being done in Germany. So we're really working right now on new projects and to diversify also the types of projects that we can do together. So basically, this was my quick overview of CRIAQ and our initiatives. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you very much.